Right now it's 6. Tracking severe storms. The start of the work week comes with the chance of heavy rain, thunder, and flash flooding. The Fox 5 weather team is tracking what you need to know. Then tragedy in Maryland. A plane comes crashing down in Bowie over the weekend, killing all 3 passengers on board. We're live with the latest from the federal investigators this morning. And overseas, a potential end to the war with Iran. The White House signaling the progress during recent negotiations in Switzerland. A closer look at where ceasefire agreements stand this morning. Your news at 6 starts now. Good morning to you. It is 6 o'clock on your Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 5 and streaming on Fox Local.
Yeah, glad to have you here with us on this new work week.
Yes.
Boy, did we have some fantastic weather over the weekend.
And you had a fantastic weekend, man. Don't act like you didn't win an Emmy over the weekend.
Right. Congrats.
Yes,
big congrats. I appreciate it.
Yes, we'll be celebrating
Much
you
deserved.
all morning long.
Thank you. Finally, it only took me quite many submissions and nominations, but here we are. Glad to have one.
Yes, well deserved.
Yes, well deserved, that's for sure. You had some nice weather over the weekend to celebrate too, and we can continue that for part of the today. We're going to see at least a nice start to the morning, but eventually we'll be talking about the heat, the humidity building back. I feel very summer-like, and with that, we'll also have the chance for maybe some severe weather towards the afternoon. So we're keeping a close eye on those storms, of course. We'll talk more about that timing coming up. Caesar?
Thank you, Taylor. So looking at traffic-wise right now, not necessarily too bad out there as we continue this morning, but we'll see exactly that we do have at least this one trouble area right now, right? It's a red line delay, so it's ongoing. Trains are single tracking between Silver Spring and Forest Glen due to a signal problem at Silver Spring, so customers will experience delays in both directions. But I'll send it over to you.
All right, Caesar, thank you. We begin this hour with the latest on the investigation into a deadly plane crash in Bowie that killed 3 people.
Federal officials now expected to spend much of today examining that wreckage and gathering evidence to determine what caused that aircraft to go down.
And Fox 5's Maureen Ume, she joins us live from Bowie this morning with the latest. Maureen.
That's right. So daylight should give investigators a better look at the debris field. Let me step aside. You can see behind me here the yellow tape cordoning off the area just behind it and where that police car is located. That is where we believe that small plane went down just before midnight, Saturday night. It took hours for first responders to locate the aircraft in the wooded area. This is behind a townhome community. The single-engine Piper Cherokee went down near Scarlet Oak Terrace. This is in Bowie, killing all 3 men on board. Now, authorities say the plane was flying from Ocean City, New Jersey to Montgomery County Air Park in Gaithersburg. Debris from the aircraft ended up just feet from homes, leaving many neighbors shaken. Some residents didn't even realize the plane had crashed until they woke up Sunday morning and saw the response outside their homes.
Everything could have caught fire if there was really a massive explosion from the crash, but we were lucky that all we got was the wing and nothing else.
Now, investigators believe the aircraft may have been part of a training flight associated with the Montgomery County Flight School. The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation and is expected to examine everything from the aircraft's condition to flight records, weather data, and air traffic communications. Now, back here live again, you can see behind me again the yellow tape in the car, police car there. Investigators have not come out yet that we've seen, NTSB investigators so far this morning, but that's not to say they might not be on the other side, but they are expected to continue to investigate this morning. The victims have not been identified. Investigators telling us that they need to contact their family members first. But as soon as we learn their identities, we'll pass it along to you, and as well as what they think might have caused this small plane to go down. But it could be a while before that is ultimately determined. That is the latest for now. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
An arraignment today for the bus driver accused in last month's deadly crash on I-95 in Stafford County. Investigators say 48-year-old Jing Dong hit 10 vehicles, killing 5 people and injuring more than 40 more. He faces 5 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 1 count of reckless driving.
Virginia State Police arresting a driver after a high-speed chase on the Beltway and I-395. Officers attempted to stop that driver near Telegraph Road just before 1 o'clock yesterday morning. The driver reached an apartment complex parking lot where they then got out of the car and ran off. We are told that the car was still in drive and hit a parked vehicle. Both of those cars caught fire. The investigation remains underway.
We now know the name of the man riding a moped killed during a high-speed park chase by police in Northwest D.C. He's identified as 46-year-old Norberto Meza of Hyattsville. Meza was struck Saturday night when a stolen car speeding away from police crossed into oncoming lanes on the Connecticut Avenue Bridge. The driver, 24-year-old Thomas Anderson, also struck a diplomat's vehicle. The two passengers are in that vehicle, are said to be able to recover. Anderson is now facing a second-degree murder charge. His passengers, a 19-year-old named Donnie Palacios and a 16-year-old, are also facing charges.
Several arrests made over the weekend involving people accused of removing material from the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. No names or the exact number of arrests have been released at this time. Federal officials warned visitors that taking paint, chips, debris, or other materials from the reflecting pool could lead to felony charges. It comes as crews continue to clean up a major algae bloom there. Our Melanie Alnwick will have a live report coming up at 6:30.
The time now is 6:05 on this Monday morning. A live view from our Rockville camera there. And I thought the weather yesterday, Taylor, was fantastic.
It was.
Slightly breezy, too.
Yes.
I was at a festival in Baltimore, actually.
Oh, yes.
I loved it.
Yes, it was so nice. The humidity wasn't a big deal, so that made it feel kind of refreshing out there, right? It took you to the point where you almost broke a sweat, but then you were fine,
There you
right?
go.
That's perfect weather. Anyway, today's going to be certainly more humid. I do think that, and we'll have the chance for maybe some severe weather later on today. Right now, we're starting out kind of cloudy. We have temperatures in the 60s to low 70s, some 60s popping up outside of the city. Regardless, this morning, it doesn't feel that bad outside, but I do think there's a good chance the humidity will build back throughout the daytime. Some clouds to start out. I think generally speaking, a good part of the daytime will be kind of cloudy. Maybe a breakout shower early this morning through midday, and then we'll see the chance for the thunderstorm threat go up, possibly in a couple of rounds towards the afternoon with that warm front kind of nearby. Here's how today kind of shapes up. It'll be warm. It'll be humid. Temperatures should get into the low 80s around noon and could top out into the 90s by the afternoon with a chance for some storms going up anytime after noon today. Also, you can go ahead and look ahead to that 7-day forecast by downloading the Fox Local app. All you have to do is eventually scan the QR code on your screen. And yeah, there you go. That will take you to the latest forecast, everything you kind of need to know if you're trying to plan for the week ahead. And also, we do have the Fox 5 Fan Club this morning coming up on 6:07 a.m. Join the Fox 5 Fan Club. All we want to do is see your photos. If you just scan the QR code right there in the top right part of your screen, that will help you submit them, and we'll show them right here live on air. Caesar?
Thank you, Taylor. Yes, make sure to send in your shout outs and we'll shout you out, and that way you can have a great start to your Monday morning. But hey, US 50 inbound right now, another spot that's starting to slowly see some increase in activity, right? Some traffic going along there. So between Kenilworth Avenue and the 3rd Street Tunnel, we're seeing it about 10 minutes right now. So as we jump over to 395 northbound main lanes, we're seeing a little bit more activity as well going along here on 395 between the Beltway and the 14th Street Bridge. Drive time is about 11 minutes there. And then as we hop over to 95 in the northbound main lanes, we can see that we do have a little bit more of cars on the road here. Drive time between Quantico and the Beltway at about 27 minutes. Marissa?
Caesar, thank you. Now to the latest in peace talks between Iran and the U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance wrapping up high-level negotiations in Switzerland, establishing a 60-day framework to permanently end the war in Iran. Lower-level talks will continue for the rest of the week as both sides agree to a de-escalation confliction cell. This is all to address the fighting in Lebanon. Mediators from Pakistan and Qatar say the cell would include the Lebanese government. It would also ensure the end of military operations in Beirut.
What today really represents is the beginning of a technical negotiation that's not going to solve every disagreement, but is going to allow us to sit together as teams for the first time really in history to figure out what matters most to the respective parties, to settle those issues, to solve those issues, and get to a better tomorrow.
This comes after weekend negotiations got off to a rocky start, with Iran claiming it closed the Strait of Hormuz amid threats by President Trump that more attacks were imminent if Iran didn't bring Hezbollah under control.
The U.S. military continuing striking alleged drug smuggling boats. U.S. Southern Command says it made a lethal strike yesterday on a boat allegedly operated by designated terrorist organizations. 2 people died in that strike while 6 others survived. Command says intelligence confirmed that the vessel was traveling in known narco-trafficking routes in the Caribbean.
A drug bust in Maryland after a massive marijuana shipment headed to Europe was stopped at the port of Baltimore. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers finding more than 10,000 pounds of marijuana hidden inside of a shipping container listed as men's shirts. A narcotics detection dog helped alert officers to the drugs, which had been shipped from New York last month. The drugs have an estimated street value of more than $24 million. That amount could double in Europe. No arrests have been made at this time. The investigation continues. It is now 6:10. Coming up, a warning to residents across the region, a confirmed case of measles, putting several parts of the DMV at risk. We'll have details on the infected person's travels next.
Plus, federal authorities also putting flyers on notice. Changes happening during the 4th of July holiday that it could impact your travel plans. We'll be right back.